What is up, guys? Welcome. Crypto FUD. And what a day we've had today, right? Gonna give a few seconds, let some people trickle in. We got a show ahead of us. What's going on, Flip? What's going on, brother, man? Wow, what a day today, right? I know you guys we've all watched, since it's happened, everything that's happened today. I was going to come out live about 2 hours ago, and I was on YouTube, and I'm just looking, and I was like, wow, every YouTuber, big to small, was on live, just basically covering what was going on. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to wait, just because, I'm sure we all have our video or our people that we watch and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what, I'm not even going to get in the middle of it all and kind of just wait for the storm to kind of blow over. So maybe we can get a little bit more information on exactly what happened today and what do I think, my perspective, right? So just giving everybody a few minutes to jump in. What's up, Vin? What's up, Eller? Flip already said what's up to you. What's up, bro? All right. So a couple of things that I do want to point out before we get into all the details of what's going on or what happened today. And I'm sure we all pretty much know exactly what happened. But a couple of things I did want to point out was for Milady particularly, for Bitcoin, we saw, this is craziness what we saw today, right? Craziness for Bitcoin. You had the tweet come out, as far as it being approved. This thing actually jumped up towards around $48,000 on some exchanges. Bitcoin actually did hit 48,000. What's kind of crazy is, remember what I've been calling for, right? In the last few weeks is I've been calling for 48,000 Bitcoin, right? I said when we get approved, we're most likely going to come up towards 48 is what it looks like. We might exceed it, but isn't that crazy? We basically got the what we thought was the approval, right? And we jumped up towards $48,000. We pretty much jumped up towards $48,000. But you saw when everything was actually released, 20 or 30 minutes later, you saw the retracement all the way back to where this support line's been that we've had, for a very long time at around 44,800, pretty much 44,900, right? So it just blows my mind, how at least with all this FUD that's going on, how we're still respecting certain lines, right? And my opinion on what I think and what I saw today, I think we are going through such manipulation in the market right now, and I think it's coming from such higher ups that if we really knew what was exactly going on, and I think we're going to find out eventually as we get through this. It was a planned attack, is what I think, as far as for Bitcoin today. I really do. Do you guys really think that the SEC's X page was compromised? Do you guys really believe that? I don't. I don't believe it. I believe this was all a planned attack to really just basically scare a lot of investors and make people look at Bitcoin, it's just, look at that, it's making that those traditional investors that are going to be supposed to be coming in when this ETF gets approved, it's spooking them away. And really, I really think it's Gary Gensler and his little goons behind it are really the ones that are doing this, and I don't believe for 1 second that that their X page was actually compromised. Rawls, thank you so much for the super chat. Was Rawls saying, was waiting for you to come live. I missed your last one, so there's 10 pounds to make it up for the last brother, man. I appreciate everything. I really do, dude. Thank you so much. See if I can. I can. Nice. Thank you so much, Roz. I really appreciate that. And let me know if you have any questions, dude. I'm just kind of venting, because this, I don't know about you guys, but it kind of angered me today, just seeing everything that happened. We've been building as a crypto community so much and really getting away from that stigma of, just being a negative, with crypto and stuff like that, right? And then you have the one government agency that's supposed to protect investors come out. There's the point of this SEC is to protect investors, right? And to make sure that they can limit manipulation in the market. And today, you know how much money people lost that got liquidated in longs because of their act? I wouldn't be surprised if Congress gets involved with this and Gary is fired over this right here, as he should be, because he is the one that's running this whole show, and he is the reason that we aren't even approved yet. And we're still going through this, and there's still not a lot of regulations in crypto. It's because of him and his goons. They want to keep right now the crypto the Wild Wild West and keep investors, those traditional investors, away. They want to make sure, because if the floodgates opens, there's going to be trillions of money, trillions of dollars, that are going to be flooding into the crypto market, right? And Bitcoin could possibly and will get stable. And this is what they're doing. They're basically creating so much turmoil any way they can, And I think it's crap. I really do. I think it's crap. And I think he should be investigated, and they should find out if there was any wrongdoing on him or anybody that's below him. He should be the one that has to answer for it, right? Because this is crap what happened today with Bitcoin. It really is. It really is. And I didn't even lose any money off of any of the longs, or anything like that. But imagine if you guys had any long positions out there, how people are feeling like just so manipulated, right? I mean, think about what we went through just a week ago. Not even a week ago. 6 days ago, we had all this FUD come out that supposedly the ETF was denied, right? And it causes massive, just sell-off in the whole crypto market, right? Just imagine that, and then we get up, tomorrow's the deadline, and 12 hours before the deadline, the SEC gets compromised, right? On their official page, and they this is just, it's insane. It really is. I'm sorry to rant, but I've been holding it in. I just think that this is it's almost like a criminal act against crypto, and it's crap. I hope someone does something that protects crypto and protects stuff like this, because what the SEC did today to crypto, they should have answers for all of us, right? They definitely should have answers for all of us. But one thing I will say is that today, when Bitcoin really did all those big moves, going up from 48,000 all the way down to, where did it actually drop down? It dropped down here at the 44. I mean, that was almost a $4,000 move right there for Bitcoin. That's almost a 10% move within like 20 minutes, right? 20 minutes. The whole time, look at Milady's charts. Doesn't even look like anything happened today, right? Doesn't even look like anything happened. And I was pretty what's the word? I was pretty proud to see that, Milady actually didn't get manipulated. It didn't fall really with Bitcoin today. Obviously, we didn't have, we did last night, remember, after the stream, we did top out right around that 62. Remember, guys, I was saying we made some confirmations above this 20-day moving average that was telling me that that Milady was definitely looking bullish. And right after we cut the stream, I checked my phone maybe an hour later, and it was, Milady was pumping, which was great. But obviously, we did retrace some. But today, after such a hectic day today, Milady really didn't get hampered much, right? I was expecting, I was busy. I missed the whole initial big pump for Bitcoin and the big drop. I came like 10 minutes after, right? And I was like, what the? I didn't even, it kind of like when I saw it was at like 46,000, I was like, really didn't even notice anything. And then I see all over YouTube that Bitcoin is ETFs approved. And I'm watching some of these videos, and I felt bad for some of these people that were on there, and they're like, literally, you see their faces. Did you guys see any videos today of when it was supposedly approved? I was watching their faces, and they were like, "Oh my God, it was a hack. It didn't happen," And I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm sitting here like, I'm just sitting back. I'm like, this is insane. What Bitcoin and all of us in crypto are having to go through. Right? This is absolutely insane. It really is. It is insane. So, but what I'm getting to is I was like, man, I went and jumped back on the charts, and I'm expecting Milady to be like down here, somewhere. And I go in because I'm like literally, I'm on where I can buy, right? I'm like looking ready to buy. And I go in and I look and I'm like, Milady hasn't done anything. I'm like, what the hell? I was like bittersweet, right? I was like happy that, we've stabled it out for the most part right now, right? But at the same time, I was looking for that, 20% discount that we normally see. When Bitcoin drops like 2%, Milady will go down 20% briefly, right? So I was like looking for that, and it didn't happen. So, in my eyes, that was pretty bullish for Milady, right? I mean, after everything that happened today, Milady really didn't get bothered. It really didn't get bothered. So, that's awesome. That is awesome. Now, let's look at Coin Market Cap. I'm going to pull up some articles too, and see maybe if there's any new information on what the heck is going on, out there. But I'm telling you, Gary owes us a very big explanation on what is going on. And tomorrow, they better have some very good news for all of us as far as this ETF being approved. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little bit ticked off, right? I'm a little ticked off. Real quick, guys, we got, 15, 17 people in here. Make sure you guys hit that like. Hit that like. That'll kind of cool me down a little bit, right? Whew. Just kidding, guys. So Eller was saying, I believe all that is a great manipulation to maximize the gains of someone. On those lines, right? I agree. On those lines, what I honestly think is in the full spectrum, what Gary or whoever is behind all this, what they're really trying to do is they're trying to scare new investors or people that are possibly going to be that are interested in investing in this ETF. They're scaring them away. They're trying to show, like, look at the volatility. Bitcoin's not stable. You want to put this in your portfolio? Are you sure? Stay in the stocks. Stay in the stocks. You're good over here, right? You don't want it. No. Don't do. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to do at the end of the day, because they're basically continuing to tarnish the crypto market. That's what they're doing. And if you guys know any history on Gary, I never thought I was going to be on a rant about, just how much Gary is negative towards Bitcoin, right? And he's a toxic person against crypto. What's crazy is this guy, and I know a lot of us know, this guy used to teach at MIT for blockchain technology. The guy is brilliant when it comes to actual Bitcoin. There's nothing you really can explain to him that he doesn't know about Bitcoin, right? Maybe some of the newer projects, possibly. But for Bitcoin, this guy literally was a professor for blockchain technology for MIT, one of the most prestige colleges, or used to be the most prestige college, as far as technology and stuff like that, right? And what happened, from what I've heard, is that this guy actually left MIT and tried to go work in the higher-ups for Binance, and CZ denied him. And somehow he swindled his way into the SEC. And since he's been the top chairman of the SEC, it's like he's got it out for Bitcoin, and he's like against all crypto, right? Like, it's done him wrong. Like, it was his girlfriend that he caught cheating on him, and now he's just like he's like wants to attack Bitcoin at all costs. Is what it seems like, right? And I know that's a little far-fetched, but a lot of that, what I just told you, is facts. As far as him actually being in MIT and stuff like that. And the guy is brilliant when it comes to blockchain technology, believe it or not. So he knows everything there is to know about Bitcoin, right? He knows everything there is. He has been slowly holding back this ETF because he does not want Bitcoin to thrive. Or he knows it's inevitable, but if he can hold it back as much as possible, I think that's what his mission is. So, rant over. I'm sorry. Troy, what's going on, brother, man? What's going on? Thank you guys all for being here. Let's get into this. I know it's been a hectic day today. It really has, right? So let's try to keep the negativity out of here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to take a deep breath and let's get positive here. So, Milady sitting back around $40 million, technically down 5%, right? Volume is up about 1%. But like I was telling you guys, if you missed it at the beginning of the stream, the fact that we saw such a crazy volatile day, and Bitcoin particularly, Milady really held strong today. It really held strong. You did not see even, I don't like you. I mean, you look at the market cap for the day, and I mean, we're down. Where is it? Move this over here. We're down 4%, right? 4%. Really nothing much, right? Just a typical day for Milady, right? Just a typical day. Nothing really crazy as far as what happened price-wise for Milady, and I think that's very bullish. Very bullish. Now, looking at the wallets, remember, we're 2 days behind, but I think we're going to have some better news here. So, whale wallets are around the same at around 40 whale wallets, right? Whale wallets being anything over $100,000, and a good chunk of those whale wallets are going to be your exchanges. And it looks like the whale holdings actually, as of the 6th, the 7th, is really pretty much the exact same. So we really haven't seen anything move as far as from the 7th's information on whale wallets. Retail went down a little bit. We saw retail go down a very little bit. But as far as whales, everything's pretty much the same. Wallets really have been the same. We're sitting around that 17,000, 18,000 mark. So, we really haven't seen much. And that's to be expected because we really haven't seen much movement in really the whole market in the last couple weeks. So real quick, we have Mr. Tanker in the house, Northeast Philadelphia in the house. What's going on, brother, man? You guys had a wicked storm, right? Come through there, because I'm in Florida and we had a massive little rainstorm come through a little while ago. It was 50-mile-per-hour winds. And I was looking at the Doppler up north. It was snowing like crazy. But what was crazy was it was raining all the way down in Florida, but the same rain was all the way up the Northeast. It was this enormous wave of storm that just came through. It's pretty cool. So let's see here. So pretty much that's all I really wanted to get out as far as, for today. Looking at the news articles for today, we're going to pretty much see what we saw. The SEC has not approved Bitcoin ETFs, but its hacked X account briefly said otherwise, right? I don't know, bro. I am not buying this. I am not buying this at all. I really am not. Something is up. And imagine all those people that got liquidated from their positions today, all out of their longs, right? From this market manipulation from the SEC. It just seems so wrong, Even if let's just say they were hacked, what the heck are you guys doing? It's craziness. I think for something like a big government that uses X or Twitter, whatever you want to call, there needs to be some kind of a two-step kind of security, right? Where before you can tweet or submit anything on your actual page, there has to be some kind of a confirmation from a different source. I mean, like a two-step. What I mean is so you let's say they make the post, but they have to have another official computer that's linked that approves it as well. So you can kind of prevent something like that from happening. So it can't just come from one source and then bam, it's out there. Because imagine, if that can happen to them, supposedly, imagine what can happen to a lot of governments, like U.S. governments in other countries. They use Twitter. So imagine if someone hacks them and they say we're invading this country in 2 hours. Do you understand what that could cause? This is absolutely insane, and I don't honestly believe that they were hacked. I really do not believe it. Do not believe it whatsoever. Let's check out the rest of the market. If you guys have anything particularly that you want to look at as far as projects, let me know. So it looks like for the most part, a lot of projects really are sitting around the same, right? You see Solana still hovering around $100. It really wasn't too affected as far as the ETF. And another thing too is that kind of gives us a little bit of a preview as what I've been telling you guys, right? I kind of told you guys, and it's crazy because I was saying, if we get approved, I'm guessing, and I've been saying this for the last couple weeks, that we were going to see a $48,000 Bitcoin somewhere around there, right? And that's exactly what we saw. For 20 minutes, the world thought that we were approved, right? Now, we probably would have continued to move up, most likely, but we were around that $48,000 mark, so the plan kind of played out. But then you can see as well, when they found out that it was not true, not necessarily that it was declined, but that the information was not true, you can see that we still bounced at a very solid spot right here at this 44.9 mark. And this technically is a spot where we have hit our head, maybe not exactly on, but we've hit our head before. And this is a spot for some solid support. You can see we cleanly bounced off of this and have retraced somewhat. We're slowly trying to get back up to where we were. But another thing too that I have lined out, and it's still in play, is this descending triangle. Or you guys know, if you're new to the channel, maybe you don't, but I know all my people know, this is considered a bull flag that we have created, right? We have this beautiful pole and the descending triangle, or this descending kind of a channel that we're in. You can see sometimes you'll break out of it, but you always kind of will just get corrected and come back into the channel. I'm still with the motion that I think we're still going to definitely jump up towards 48,000 if we can still see this approval happen. Tomorrow is the day, guys. Tomorrow's the day. There's no ifs and buts about it. Tomorrow's the day. Now, what kind of just gets me a little worried is what if they try to use this as an excuse of why they need to deny it, right? And we need to wait till March. You know, I something like that could possibly happen. You know, and it kind of just it almost like it could possibly derail what was supposed to happen, right? What should be happening, the approval. You know, and that's what I want to make sure you guys understand and make sure you guys are planning accordingly, because like you saw today, if there's an official notice tomorrow that it actually did not get approved, we're most likely going to be coming back down towards these levels of 44. Most likely we might break 44, and I don't think it's going to be a brief drop. I think it's going to be somewhere where if we do break down towards this 44.9, or if we come maybe down back into this area, this channel that we were before all this ETF approval, somewhere around the 44,000 solid mark, right? If we come back down around here, I think we're going to be there for a few weeks, where it's going to take a few weeks for the investors to really get past this whole ETF debacle, right? But like I've been telling you guys, regardless, I think we're going to get past this fairly soon, right? If this is with the worst case scenario, if we don't get approved, we're going to get past this. It's going to take a few weeks, but we're going to eventually start moving ourselves right back up towards that 45, 46, 47, $48,000, because what do we have for 3 months from now? Less than 3 months from now, we have the ETF approval. I'm sorry, ETF approval. I need to stop talking about that. We have the halvening that's happening this year in April, right? And 3 months from now, probably a little less than 3 months from now, that we have this the halvening that's going to be occurring, right? So we have that momentum that's going to be building up. So we'll have all that, still going for the market. And on top of that, I'm sure, I don't have the dates, but I'm sure halvening, yeah, exactly. I'm sure we have interest rate cuts in between, probably at least one, I would imagine, in the next 3 to 4 months as well, which is always very bullish for the market, right? So we have a lot of things that are going to be, lined up for this year. And I really would love to just get the freaking ETF out of the way. I just want to get this crap out of the way. Either approve, disapprove. Hopefully tomorrow's the day we can get past it. Obviously, we're hoping for the best. We want to see us get that approval, because it's going to be nothing but good for the whole crypto market across the board, right? So definitely want to see that. Now, Bitcoin dominance did drop a little bit today. I don't remember what it was prior to the news coming out, but I would probably guess my bottom dollar that we probably were somewhere around getting close to 54%, right? But we have dropped down somewhat because there was a big sell-off. Now we're at around 53%. So we're still sitting pretty high as far as the Bitcoin dominance. And I think we might start seeing somewhat of a build-up slightly tonight, right? We're trying to get past that 46.1. The market's on edge now after what happened. And it rightly should be, right? But that's their plan. That's their plan, and that's why this all came out. I'm telling you guys, it was all to manipulate the market and scare off and stop that momentum that was building, right? Stop that momentum that was building. Now, real quick, so let's see here. So Midwest was saying, I don't believe it was compromised either. Thank you. I mean, at least there's other people out there. I saw who else was out there when I saw. So whose channel I was watching. What's his name? The little guy. He's hilarious. He lives in Dubai. Gosh, I just forgot his name. Sometimes it would be on Ben's channel, but he's not anymore. He's is it Charles? Carl from the Moon. He was the first channel that popped up saying that it was approved, and I'm watching his channel, and right when I clicked in, it already was found out that it wasn't approved, but you could see it in his face. He's like, "Oh my God, right? So I'm watching his channel, and he was, just talking about everything that was going on, and he was just like, I cannot believe, like, this is like unprecedented that what just happened, right? He's like, this is absolutely insane. And then I flip over, and George is on, right? And he's going crazy. And he actually really was the first to say, like, immediately, he's like, this is, like, he doesn't believe that it was a compromise. He's like, I don't believe they were hacked one bit, right? He's like, I do not believe it. He's like, this is just, it's too fishy, right? So there's a lot of people that are going to be questioning what happened today. What happened, why did it happen, and who did it, right? Because that's what we need to know. We need to know who did it. And are they liable, for all those people that lost money and longs today? Like, I know their money's gone, but that is just absolutely insane. Just imagine that, right? Just imagine. Now imagine if we do get approved tomorrow, but all those longs that should have been actually in the green going into tomorrow, when Bitcoin, if we are approved, they should have been in the green, right? And they should definitely have made some money. They lost whatever, all that money that was lost basically derailed a lot of people in their investments. And I'm telling you, that's exactly what they are doing. This was the game plan. They probably have had this set up for a while now. All this. Now, let's see here. Crypto is my favorite soap opera, dude. Frank, doesn't it feel like that's exactly what they want? It's like they want it to be a freaking show, right? For your outside investors that are like sitting here, probably like, see, I told you, Bitcoin is a joke. Like, that's what I'm saying. They're tarnishing our crypto. They're tarnishing Bitcoin. They're attacking the crypto, and this was all a planned attack. I'm telling you. And let's see here. Miex was saying, when that guy's still there, Crystal won't be good. What do you mean? Hold on. Elaborate, Max. What do you mean by that? But I see the mad face, so I agree with you on whatever you're saying, brother. So let's see here. Dai was saying, what's up, Dai? He's saying Bitcoin dominance is high. It is high. But it was, imagine earlier when we were at 48,000, Bitcoin dominance was most likely around 54%, I would imagine, right? I didn't even get to see it because when all this happened, I was busy. Like, literally just that 20-minute spur, I literally watching the market all day, take my eyes off it for 20 minutes, and then I come back and I'm like, what in the hell happened? At first I saw it all over YouTube. Like, it's approved, and then I'm like, yes, and then I click in, and like I said, Carl from the Moon is like literally in tears, on his live stream, like, what the hell just happened? And then like I'm like going to the market, and I'm like looking at it, because I looked at it first, I didn't even notice the enormous red candle that kind of like moved back and forth, and then I go back to the charts, and I'm like, holy crap, we went up to 48,000. Like, I wasn't even alerted about that. Let's see here. Just reading some stuff real quick. Yeah, so this is crazy. CM, what's going on, brother, man? Welcome. And Adam was saying they want it to drop so the big fish can get in lower. Honestly, Adam, I'm like over that narrative. I really am. I'm pretty sure that's happened plenty of times. But I feel like today's attack was really just to tarnish the crypto market as a whole, right? Tarnish Bitcoin particularly, and really just spook. I think to spook your regular investor that's usually traditionally in the stock market and stuff like that, that's probably waiting for the ETF to be approved so they can allocate some money into the ETF, because you got to remember, this ETF is going to be more catered towards the stock market, right? We already have access to buying Bitcoin directly. A lot of traditional investors, for whatever reason, they would feel safer buying an ETF that's based off the Bitcoin price, right? But not actually owning any Bitcoin. I know it sounds insane. It's like almost against everything that we believe, right? Because we believe with crypto, you own your own stuff, right? Literally, all my crypto right now, I can send to a cold storage wallet and take it off, and no one can take it from me that, like legally could take it from me, right? So, but with stocks, it's a little bit different, right? You own those stocks, but technically it's held on to an exchange, and they can really do whatever the hell they want at the end of the day. So it's like it's a little bit, it's a kind of against the traditional crypto, person that's been in crypto for a while. But at the end of the day, it's something that's really good because it just gives more exposure to crypto. It gives more exposure to more money that can come into crypto. And you know what? If people want to trade off the price of Bitcoin, but they don't really actually want to, buy it directly off of an exchange, so be it. It is what it is, right? As long as it's a plus for us. So CM was saying, I guess I missed something big. CM, where have you been today, brother? You did. Just to recap, CM, and I'm sure there's maybe a couple people. Don't feel like you're alone here, but look at this enormous red candle that happened today, brother. So today we had the SEC official X Twitter page put out probably around 4:30 or something. So around there, about 4:30, that the ETF was approved. Bitcoin started mooning all the way up to around, it actually tapped close to around $48,000, right? 20 minutes later, Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, actually came out on his own X and said that the SEC's Twitter was compromised, aka hacked, and that it was false information. And it caused Bitcoin to go all the way from 48,000 to drop all the way down to the support level that we've had at around 44,900. Now let's map that out as far as a what was that drop? That was probably, I would say probably about 8.5-9%. Oh, okay. So about 6% drop. And that's pretty much what we saw. That's almost literally, this drop was probably a little bit more dramatic when almost the same thing happened, back here about a week ago. It's just, this is an attack for crypto, dude. They're just trying to manipulate. And you know what? I'm going to highlight. So Adam was basically saying that he's buying regardless. And what's so funny is right when I saw this news, that's exactly what I did. That's what I was saying for Milady, was Milady looked very bullish, right? We actually, whenever that dropped down, Milady didn't get affected. Milady kind of just sat where it was at. There was really no big red candle or anything like that. I was expecting to come back to Milady and find Milady maybe bouncing somewhere where we where we found some support down here, either at the 49 or the 41 down here at our 200 day. I was expecting it to be down here. So I go running, to go buy, and I look at Milady, nothing's happened. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, that is crazy. So I bought in on a couple other projects, or I added to my bag on a couple other projects that were actually hit from the move from Bitcoin. So I was in the same boat where I was just really trying to, just take advantage of whatever dip occurred, because at the end of the day, like we always say, all this crap that's going on is not going to mean anything in a year from now, 6 months from now. Whenever we're fully into this bull market, we're going to be looking back like we look back right now at whenever FTX happened, Celsius, all these big exchanges were going down, and there was all this FUD and just all this crap going on, in the crypto market, and we were in that deep bear market. We look back and we're like, holy crap, like I survived that, I survived. We're going to be looking back at just this time as well, because this is going to be going into the history books as far as for Bitcoin. Better believe it. When they're talking about Bitcoin, in 50 years from now, they're going to be talking about when, the ETF was struggling to get approved, and hopefully they know by then that it most likely was an inside job trying to manipulate, Bitcoin and the crypto market for whatever gains that they're trying to do. I still think it's really just to scare the traditional investor from just staying away from crypto for as long as they can. So let's see here. So Max was saying, look at Bonk. Let's check out Bonk. People were saying that Bonk and Milady have literally gone parallel. And looking at Bonk today, I would say Bonk looks a little bit more bullish. It did find this bottom finally, right? It did kind of bounce pretty much. And what's crazy now, I was thinking about, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Bonk found a bottom where it was on its way up the first time and it found this solid support pretty much at the bottom of this fib retracement right here that I pretty much picked. It literally bounced right above it, right here, and that brings me to another thing. Remember, I was saying that Bonk most likely what'll happen is it'll gain that zero, and it'll be very brief, and probably what it needs to maybe find a bounce. And that's exactly what it did. It gained that zero right at that like 94 mark, and you can see it's been going back on a run. And sometimes that's what these projects need. They need to hit that rock bottom. They need to hit that spot where mentally the person that's sitting on the sidelines is finally thinking, all right, this is a perfect price right here for me to jump in. And a lot of times it's usually for these meme coins whenever they add a zero, right? When they add a zero, even if it was just from right here to right here, 5% move, it's a mental kind of a price that now it just added a zero, so that people are really thinking that they're going to get a lot more bang for their buck, right? So right here, it dropped that zero briefly at the 9.4, and you can see from there on, it has bounced up 55%. Bonk actually is looking pretty darn good today. Let's look at the market cap and see. Bonk's market cap was, as of yesterday's stream, I believe it was down to like 600 million. I'm believing with the 55% move, this thing's probably back up to around 700, 720. 900. Holy crap. Bonk. Bonk's for the win today. Holy crap. That's crazy. Bonk's looking good today. Definitely looking good. Now, Bonk it's basically approaching that 786 fib right here at this 14.7. It did get rejected actually right at that spot, so there's going to be a pivotal spot for some rejection right now, right? Some resistance, but I think if it can continue on this drive, it should break through. I think a solid spot if it does break this 786 at the 14. We'll call it the 14. What is that? Basically the 14.7 right there. This 200-day SMA right here is going to come. And we're going to need to see if this thing can break the 200-day SMA, and that's going to be around the 15.5. So you're probably talking about another 10 or 15% move up. Yeah, about 8% move up. So it's obviously going to need to try to break this total of resistance right here at the 786. And then next in line is going to be this 200-day SMA that's been curled. That it looks like it's going to definitely be some sort of resistance for sure. But definitely looks good today for Bonk. For sure. And we'll see that definitely for Milady, right? We definitely will see that beautiful V shape eventually for Milady. Right now, we are forming, if you can see, again, we're trying to just rekindle what we had yesterday. We are sitting above the 20-day SMA right now. Again, I would, like we always say, we want to see a few green candles above that 20-day SMA, which is basically at the 55. We want to see a couple green candles, even if they're red, but they bounce off the 20-day, right? As long as they stay above this 20-day SMA, the 50-day is literally right here. I mean, it's pretty much going to squeeze eventually, and we'll most likely break this 50-day. If we can, that'll be a very, very bullish move. You guys can see when we saw this red candle, it was actually a little bit of was that a death cross? Not really, but I guess it pretty much can be considered a death cross right here, where the 20 and the 50 crossed, and you can see it just basically formed this massive red candle, or it looks massive. We're zoomed in. This was basically a just a 4% move, right? But it pretty much dropped us under the 20-day and the 50-day, and you can see all day we've kind of just been teeter-tottering, hitting our head on this 20-day, but we have formed above it. Bitcoin's looking like it's trying to rekindle what it's got going on. You can see right here, Bitcoin's technically sitting at around 46.2, trying to get up to 46.3. Like I said, don't be surprised if we kind of move up towards the top of this channel. I don't see us moving up, up here towards like 47, retesting 47, possibly for tonight. I think that the market is spooked out. So I think that for right now, we're probably going to stay towards the top of this channel, somewhere around maybe 46.5, 46.6. Maybe we'll stay around there until tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be basically like Judgment Day for Bitcoin. Tomorrow is the deadline. They have to tell us if it's going to be approved or declined. I will tell you, if you probably talked to a lot of analysts today or right now after the fact of whatever happened a few hours ago, as of earlier this morning, 95% chance. I bet you now we're probably sitting at a 50-50 chance because of whatever the hell happened today. I guarantee they're going to use it as some kind of leverage against crypto. Mark my words. Now, Mex was asking, should he sell Milady and jump into Bonk? So, couple things I will say about that. First is whatever I say is going to be my opinion. It's not going to be any kind of financial advice, right? You're going to do whatever the hell you need to do. But what I will say is Bonk does look bullish. It does look bullish. If, like, let's say you wanted to allocate a little bit of money into Bonk, I wouldn't say, sell all your holdings of Milady, because what's going to happen is tomorrow or the next few days, Milady's going to start making a big bounce, right? So you don't want to, sit there and sell off on Milady, but if you want to maybe diversify a little bit, Bonk isn't a bad buy-in. But right now, maybe if you have a little patience, because we're kind of coming off of this 50% move, right? In the last day. Since yesterday morning, we pretty much have moved up 55%, right? Well, I think we'll watch, and I would keep an eye on it. This 786 fib right here is at the 14.6, 14.7 mark, right? We just hit our head cleanly on that, and we were basically rejected, but it's not sitting far under it. What I would watch is to see if we're going to maybe retest this level multiple times. If we, let's say you get maybe 3 candles where we're hitting our head on this 786, most likely it's going to probably break towards the upside. And then, like I said, you have this next spot of resistance, which is going to be your 200-day SMA at the 15.5. So personally, what I'm getting to is I would just have patience. Don't get the FOMO and feel like you're missing out on Bonk. Because remember, just yesterday, this was sitting 50% lower. You could have easily bought in on Bonk yesterday when it was down and out. So be careful trying to buy in when now it's up 50%. You might get a better opportunity if you have some patience. At least maybe it bounces somewhere around this 13.7, hanging right here at this 100-day SMA. Because I wouldn't be surprised if it maybe needs to bounce a few times off this SMA moving average, like I keep saying, around this 13.7 before maybe it wants to take off. So, definitely do your own research. But right now, as far as Bonk, you have to remember you're up, or Bonk is up about 50+% in the last day. So do you want to buy in while it's, has this major pump? You might have an opportunity possibly to buy in maybe at a 10 or 15% discount if you have patience. So it's all up to you. But if you long term, like I keep telling everybody, Bonk, I think, is going to be a big player in the meme game. I keep telling you guys this. It's backed by Solana. It's on the Solana ecosystem. So at the end of the day, long term, I think Bonk is going to be a big player in this game, along with Milady, right? Along with Milady, because Milady is going to be a big player in this game. And what the difference is between Bonk and Milady is that Milady's market cap is literally 1/20th of what Bonk's is right now. So maybe right now, Milady doesn't look as juicy as Bonk, right? But it's all right. The time you want to buy in on these projects is when they're down and out, right? So you can catch these moves. When it's moving up, yeah, there's an opportunity you're going to buy in and probably jump in, and it can continue to move up. But there's also that big opportunity that you might buy in on this local top right here, and it might need to come and retrace a couple spots to find some support. So that's why I just say be careful if you're short-term investing on Bonk, because you might be able to find a better price. Long-term, I don't think even buying right now wouldn't be a terrible decision. But if you were to ask me which project between Bonk and Milady are going to have better gains during the bull market, statistically speaking, looking at numbers, Milady is poised to have better results just because the market cap is so low. Bonk's going to have that backing of Solana. So it's always going to have, it already has the hype, a lot of hype behind it. Milady's going to get that eventually, right? Milady's is going to get that. So I just feel like for myself, the better choice as far as seeing those bigger gains is going to be through Milady personally. But, I'm always preaching to diversify, right? You want to diversify and maybe spread your investments out. If you're not just content with just having Milady as your meme coin in your bag. So So Frank was asking me how my cock and you is doing. Frank, that is just sick, man. I can't believe you're asking me that in front of everybody. Can you guys see this? He just asked how my cock and you is. That is just... I'm just messing with you guys. So you want to check out to see how cock and you is. Oh, man. I don't think that's ever going to get old, right? Oh, man. Imagine Granny coming up and asking you, hey, I heard about this new meme coin, cocking me? Is it cocking me? I'd be like, Grandma, please don't say that. That's just wrong. Did I get it wrong? Is it cocking me or is it cocking you? The jokes are endless, man. The jokes are endless with this meme coin. They really are. Oh, man. So with this cock and you, so this thing it's a fairly new project, right? It got somewhat some nice hype. It got some nice hype, when it first came out, and I really do put it on the name. It's a catchy name. A lot of people are cracking up, and that's what, like I always tell you guys, these meme coins, they need that hype, they need that attention really to get that kickoff and get that movement going, right? And that's kind of what this project was forming, but it was like quickly kind of died out. And not that people aren't talking about it, but the project kind of just died out and it started making these lows, right? So you see that it made these lows, found some support right here at this the 7 mark. You can see it basically, it added a 0, right? Came out. Let's do a little fib retracement on here. Let's see. I just, with these charts that are like so fairly new, even with fib retracements, I'm like, be careful out there, just because this thing could easily find support somewhere else that we don't see because it really is so fairly new. But you can see so far, it had this bottom right here, gained the 0 at the 77 mark, right? Had a nice little, like almost a dead cat bounce, broke the 0.5, almost made it up to the 382 right here. Basically, you can see it had like almost a double top, right, form right here at the 25, regained that 0, and then you can see it kind of just slowly bled off, right? But really, I don't say this is because of the project. This really occurred, this bleed off was really when Milady was doing the same thing, Bonk was doing the same thing, a lot of meme coins were all doing the same thing, right? But now, where it's at right now, wouldn't be a terrible spot, in my opinion, to maybe start, maybe dollar cost averaging in, because, the price is low. It's almost at its bottom, right? It's a little bit ahead of its bottom. But looking at the 20-day and the 50 and the 100-day SMA, it's basically confirmed above. You can see we've had 4 candles above the 20-day SMA technically form, to where I think this thing, it almost looks like Milady, where it's about to get squeezed between the 20 and the 50-day. And I wouldn't be surprised if this thing can possibly break this 50-day SMA at around the 15 mark. We could see somewhat of another breakout, right? Now, is it going to be short-lived? Who knows? But a lot of the meme coins are setting up like this, where they're looking like they're just getting juicy, right? Where they're down, but they're starting to show, getting above some of these SMA moving averages. And usually when that starts to happen, we will see some kind of upward movement on a lot of these projects. So, with this project particularly, I think it has some time to really prove that if it's going to be out and about for a while, or is this going to be one of those projects that kind of came and went. Market cap is so low at $97 million that, this thing, honestly, buying it where it's at right now wouldn't, in my eyes, be a terrible thing. Wouldn't be a terrible thing as far as right now. Maybe if you had some patience, possibly, maybe you can see it maybe come back and retest this 20-day moving average at around the 13. But really, you're talking about 2% difference, right? Or a 5% difference. So depending on how much you're putting into this project could mean, maybe a small amount difference or maybe a big amount, right? 5%, using 10 grand, 5%, to me is a decent chunk, right? But if you're putting in $100, 5%, $5, it's not really that big of a deal. So, I mean, if you're waiting, I'd just say, screw it. If I'm putting $100 in, I just would put it in, right? Just put it in, even if it starts to go down a little bit, maybe throw a little bit more and bring my average down. But like I was saying, this project's still fairly new, so be careful with it. But with the market cap being so small and being such a funny meme, that I wouldn't doubt that this damn thing stays for a while and we just have the endless jokes going for a long time, right? Now let's see here. Frank was saying that I can't handle the cockanoog and granny. I don't know if I would want to handle it, right? All right, so again, just looking at Milady, she doesn't look bad. Like I said, I want to see a couple confirmation candles that just sit above this 20-day. I think we're going to kind of, be in between this 20 and 50-day, but if we can possibly form some solid like 3 or 4 candles above the 20-day, we might see a quick breakout over this 50-day. If we are able to somewhat break above this 50-day moving average, we're probably going to see some nice movement up. And that's obviously with Bitcoin obviously trying to rebound itself, right? If Bitcoin is struggling, even though Bitcoin is technically, it's down, but it's at $46,000, right? Just a few days ago, that was our high. I think that's another thing that people forget too, is that where we're sitting at right now is pretty much where our high was a week ago. So Bitcoin still is so strong, even in the face of all this crap that's going on. Bitcoin's still so strong. It really is. So Frank asks, do I have any predictions for tomorrow regarding the ETF circus? So yeah, I'll cover it again. I pretty much was saying 2 scenarios, right? We kind of got a little taste of what both can happen today, right? Both scenarios, what's still in play is tomorrow the ETF gets approved, will rally up probably towards 49,000, somewhere around there, depending on where we hover today. As long as we can stay around this 46,000, 48,000 will be a breeze, right? That's why I said maybe we'll get up to about 49,000 with the approval. Maybe see somewhat of a sell the news of it in the next few days, if not, within the day or two. Something like that. Something like this movement would be very bullish, right? Where we could see us get up to about 49,000 and then maybe see the retracement back towards around where we're at right now, at least above 46, setting us up for a big run coming up in these next, month or two, with the anticipation of the halving coming, right? But if we see worst case scenario, the SEC declines the approval, right? They decline the approval for whatever reason. We saw a little taste of what can happen, right? We first saw it here, about a 7% drop, right? We dropped down to 41,000 from pretty much where we were at, around where we're at, right? So that's what I'm saying. If we possibly stay around where we're at, we could see something similar where we go back and retest 40, 41, 42,000, right? That could be somewhere around a bottom that we see. And that would be for tomorrow. But again, remember, worst case scenario, I think that's going to be a short-lived situation where we might sit and chop around back where we were pretty much at before this whole debacle started, right? This whole build-up, probably back into this channel if it gets declined, right? We drop back towards the 41, 42, 43,000 area, sit around there for maybe the next few weeks. It gets behind us, and then we slowly but surely start building back up, because at the end of the day, they can't stop the halving from happening, right? And I think that's going to be building up a lot of momentum for Bitcoin and the crypto market as well in these next few months. So let's see here. Mex, no worries, dude. I thank you so much for coming in, brother. That's what I'm here for, right? And then Craig was saying 50,000 is a psychological sell point. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I could see a lot of people selling if it gets up to like around 50K. Yeah, I mean, I you know what's crazy is, and what we don't realize is a lot of these spots are, some of those points for a lot of people. You have to remember, a lot of people during the last, on our way up on the last bull run, right? 2021, a lot of people bought in at 40, 45,000, 50. And I actually was saying this about 2 weeks ago, as we get up towards our all-time highs, about that 60 to 68,000, we're going to see a lot of resistance. It's going to be a struggle, right? Because you have a lot of people that bought in around 55, 60, 65,000, right? That are still holding. and they just want to get their money back, right? They just want to get their money back. They've been holding on, for a long time. And whenever that thing finally gets up there, I think there's going to be, it's just going to be a big, point where we're going to see a lot of like where we sit there for a little while, like maybe weeks on end on certain price points, right? 60, 65,000, right? These are all spots that we're going to just be like stuck on for a while. And it's because the sell to buy pressure is going to be so intense on that sell side, just because we're going to have a lot of people that have been waiting for the last 2.5 years, to get their money back. The very few that probably are still holding, but there's probably a big chunk out there. I know people that bought in heavy at $55,000+ on Bitcoin. I'm talking about like whole Bitcoins, right? That are still holding. And literally, I'm getting this information off of what they were telling me. They're like, when this thing gets back up to 60,000, I'm selling. And I'm like, why? I'm kind of like looking at them and I'm like, what do I say to them, right? Because they've been holding on for so long. Because I've been telling them, I'm like, just hold on. Why are you going to sell at a loss? They were, when it was down to 15,000, like, I might as well sell. I was like, why would you do that? You have 55,000 in Bitcoin. Why the hell would you sell at 15,000? I was like, just hold. Now that it's been building back up, they're all like, thank you so much for telling me to hold it. I was like, yeah, for sure. But they're like, but you ain't stopping me when it gets to 55. I'm selling. And in my head, I'm like, what do I say? What's my response, right? And I try to, I understand where they're coming from, right? But I want to I just want them to explain to them that, dude, if we're going back up to those, we might, get up to 55,000 and let's just say we get to 55,000, big sell-off, we drop back down to like 48,000, right? It doesn't matter. We're going to keep testing those levels. We're going to break it. And Bitcoin's, you're going to be in the green eventually, right? And that's what you bought for, was to make money. These people they put in money that they really didn't need. They didn't really need that. It's just sitting in their bank account. So I'm like, I understand your the frustration that you have, and you just want to get your money back, and when you're finally able to do that, it's going to be very hard for you not to just hit that sell button. But at the same time, just think about if you can make 10 grand off of it, maybe the wait would be worth it. Or maybe you hold on to it and maybe you learn some respect on Bitcoin, and 2 years from now, Bitcoin's at 150,000 and you really, look back and you're like, holy crap, like who cares that I had to wait 2 years? I just made 100 grand off of my Bitcoin, right? So I'm just always trying to explain to these people, and that's why I get that kind of that scenario where I think that we might, we for sure, there's going to be a lot of people out there that went through that, that pretty much, that have been holding on for the last 2 years and they can't wait to just get their money back, is what I'm saying. So we're going to have a little bit of a, uphill battle when we really get up to those higher levels, 50, 55, 60, particularly 65,000, and especially 68,000. Imagine the people that bought in at 68,000, right? Whew. It's rough. So looking at the Milady tweets, let's see here. People like to come on Milady's page and tweet about Pepe and stuff like that, like, because they're trying to bring people over to their side, and it's just like, bruh, come on. Let's see here. So this guy was saying Shiba together with cock, sick, and ladies. Wait, did you say cock and ladies? Oh my lord. And AI Doge, 100 up to 1,000. Oh, saying 1,000x potential. Just my opinion. Okay. I mean, yeah, I see that. I don't know about 1,000x on Shiba, because that thing, the market cap's already up to like, it's still, even when it's down, it's at like $4 billion. So that would be insane, 1,000x on that. Then you see people saying, I'm bullish on ladies. I'm bullish on ladies. I'm bullish on ladies. There's going to be some bearish stuff coming up soon. This is the same guy that just said this like 5 times, that he's bullish on ladies, right? And then let's see here. Bullish with this will be the first bull run for ladies, right? Listen to that comment. This is going to be the first bull run, that we're pretty much we've already started, but full-blown bull market that Milady's has been through, right? That's why I think a lot of people they don't understand unless you've been into it, right? Unless you've been in it. I saw like Dogecoin when it first went through its first bull run, Shiba when it went through its first bull run. We saw what happens Now, it's not going to happen to every single meme coin, but we have all the checks, all the boxes checked for Milady. This thing has everything behind it, right? It's definitely has the potential to really make some big waves in the crypto market in this next bull run. And this is going to be the first time that Milady is going to be exposed to that bull market volume, right? Millions and billions of dollars are going to be just flowing around. People are going to be looking for the next meme coin, right? And Milady is going to be potentially that one that they're going to be looking at, because like I said, what's intriguing is that, you know, this is already on major exchanges, right? And then especially if we get on some other ones like Binance, Coinbase, the market cap being, you know, so low compared to a lot of other meme coins, this has the massive potential to really do some enormous things in this next bull run, right? So definitely good comment right there for sure. Now this guy put a chart. Let's look at this chart. So he put a chart up of what Bitcoin's been doing and what Milady's been doing as of, this looks like, a 1 day chart, right? But you can see Milady pretty much is going parallel with Bitcoin, right? It really has been going pretty much parallel with Bitcoin. Now this did come out 20 hours ago, so this was before the big drop as of today. I bet you if you saw this chart today, Milady's probably looks a little bit better than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin saw, you know, that really big sell-off. But we actually can look at that chart real quick. Let me see here. Let me see if this plays out the way I need it to. Hold on, I don't think that's the correct. No, it is Bitcoin. My question is why isn't it letting me I don't know. Something doesn't seem right with this chart. It's supposed to be parallel with Bitcoin, but it doesn't seem like it's going in sync. Let me see if there's like a different. Oh, maybe that's why. I don't know, guys. I'll have this ready for us next tomorrow. We can probably look at this and see exactly what the hell. We can compare our favorite meme coins, you know, for on the charts, and see exactly what, you know, if they're going parallel or not. But from the chart that the guy put out on here, you can see that for the most part, Milady is going parallel with Bitcoin, which is great, because we know at the end of the day, Bitcoin's going to continue to keep moving up, and you know, Milady's going to definitely do it. Now there is going to be times where, you know, let's say Bitcoin jumps up to 70K, right, and then it turns into altcoin season. Milady's going to decouple from Bitcoin, and it's going to see massive gains, right? You're going to see where Bitcoin is up, but you're going to see Milady up, having days where it's up 100, 120%, right? For the week, 300% type stuff, because Bitcoin will probably top out well before a lot of the altcoins. And what will happen is these altcoins will be kind of following behind it, right? Trying to play catch up. But when you have something like where this market cap is so low, the moves are going to be so much more dramatic, right? We always say this on the channel. It's going to be so much more dramatic. So with that being said, you're going to see days where it does look similar to Bitcoin, and you're going to see days where we just freaking decouple, and we just, I mean, like, there's where we 10x what Bitcoin did on that same exact day. It will come. I guarantee it. Now let's see here. Craig was saying he bought 28,000 ACH today. Did you catch the dip? Let me see. Did HCH? I know we were looking at it yesterday. Did we see? Oh yeah, because remember yesterday. Remember I was telling you the only thing that kind of, for right now, not saying long term, but I was saying for right now, was a little bit bearish, was that it was sitting under its 200-day moving average. Right. This is its official, not the SMA, but the actual 200-day moving average. It was technically dipping below. It is right above it as of right now, but not much. Now you can see, hopefully this thing can kind of build some momentum and bounce above the 200-day, right, and form some green candles. You might see another run, or it start to make a big run as far as with this project. But I think for right now, it never really, like I said, had an explosive move. So it is definitely down the road where it will have a nice move, but you might be sitting around these areas, maybe moving up 10 or 20, 30%, getting back into this channel. But, I think we're going to sit around these areas for a little while until, like I keep saying, like altcoin season really jumps in, or something with the project gets released, right? That maybe they're using this for transactions or whatever the case is. Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is a big project with like transactions and stuff like that. So, if something like that was to happen, you'll definitely see a big move. Ethereum, is Ethereum pumping? Let's see. Wow, Ethereum looks great today. That's crazy. This is the 200-day moving average. It's really not that far above its 20-day moving average. I'm sorry, 200-day moving average. That's crazy. Let me see here. So you can see Bitcoin definitely looks, Bitcoin. Ethereum has been, just really because of Solana. Ethereum really this time around really hasn't been making these big strides, right? You would expect Bitcoin being right under 50 grand, that, Ethereum would be, probably 2,500 to maybe 3 grand right now. But it's really been kind of not making enormous moves for right now. And I think it's because, you have a lot of other altcoins that are really taking the money that would normally be going into Ethereum. And a lot of people are taking their gamble with other layer 1 projects. But like I keep telling everybody about Ethereum, Ethereum is just like Bitcoin. It's like it owes its respect for the altcoins, right? Because it has really paved the way to show what layer 1s are all about. Now a lot of these layer 1s are based off of Ethereum, and they're just basically trying to make a better Ethereum, right? For a lot of them. And, that is what it is. There will be eventually a day where there's probably a better, maybe a better layer 1 project that's going to be going head to head with Ethereum, right? Is it going to be Solana? Who knows, right? But for now, most of DeFi projects still are on Ethereum. Even though Solana's DeFi has been doing more in volume, there's still a lot more built on the Ethereum network just because it's been around for a lot longer. So I do think, in the bull run, we're going to see probably another $5,000 to $10,000 Ethereum. I think Ethereum really didn't get robbed, but in the last bull run, Ethereum really made it up to about $4,800, right? Because I was involved with Ethereum heavily, and it made it up to about $48,000. When I sold, in the back of my mind, I was like, shit. I was like, what if this thing starts pumping up to like, $10,000, but it never did. It really was stagnant right under that $5,000 mark. So I think this time around, Ethereum will break that 5,000, but will it get to 10? I don't know. Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine, but it definitely will break that $5,000 mark, I think, when this next bull run, for sure. For sure. So let's see here. Oh, nice. Great. So just to recap, excuse me, Milady looks good. Is Milady pumping, guys? We're looking at the 1 minute. You gotta be careful when you're looking at these little 1 minute charts. You'll think that we're up like 100%. It's like 0.5%, right? But Milady looks good, regardless of what you're looking at. Milady looks good for today. She really. Oh, look, is this the 1 hour? We broke the 50-day on the 1 hour. Let's check out the 4 hour real quick. All right, so 4 hour, we're basically right at the 200-day. The 20-day SMA moving average. We want to see this green candle above the 20-day. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, kind of confirming that we're going to break out above this, at least this 20-day moving average for right now. And then we'll talk about retesting this 50-day. You can see we've kind of been teeter-tottering in between this channel, right? Eventually, what's going to happen is we're going to break this 50-day as well, and then we're going to start pumping, right? We get above the 20 and the 50, that's going to be a big confirmation that we're gonna see some solid pumps. Now, will it be short-lived? Who knows? But the fact is that Bitcoin has had a rough day today, But Milady honestly hasn't had a rough day. She has not had a rough day. She's had a real just relaxful day. Really, you can see we're right back into this channel. That's why I keep telling you guys and I'm going to move this channel. I'm just going to move it over because we've technically been just staying in this channel. I don't know why I haven't done it before. But as long as we kind of just stay in this channel right here, if we break out of this channel to the bottom, I'm buying in. I keep adding dollar cost averaging in. So that's anything under the 55 mark. Anything under that 55, and I mean like it gets down 54 pretty much or under, that's where I'm buying in and adding to my bag, right? But I'm really waiting for like dips like these right here where they're like these big dips. We might not see anymore, right? If we get that approval tomorrow, we might not see these prices for very much longer. So we'll have to kind of just map it out. Tomorrow is going to be the big day. Tomorrow is going to be that judgment day. I'm sure we're all going to be glued in. I definitely will be coming after the fact tomorrow around 6 o'clock tomorrow. So hopefully we have a good stream. You know, it's always good when the market's doing good so we can kind of, you know, just celebrate and stuff like that. So hopefully tomorrow we'll come in and everything's good for us. But if it's not, guys, don't worry because Bitcoin, all that Bitcoin stuff, if we do not get approved, it's going to be short term. It's going to be a short term move. And the next few weeks, maybe month, we'll be right past, you know, and getting back up towards these levels because we have a lot of other stuff lined up for Bitcoin. So pretty much other than that, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys have a great night tonight. And again, Rawls, if you're still here, I know it's late as hell where you're at, brother, man. But if you're still here, thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate that, brother. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here today. Make sure you guys hit that like on the way out. If you're not already, hit that subscribe so you get those instant alerts whenever we do post videos and whenever we do go live every day. You don't have to go searching for it. It'll just pop up on your screen or whatever you're watching on. So other than that, guys, thank you guys so much. Tomorrow is going to be a big day. Make sure you guys come back, all right? See you guys later.